audible. Is this voice clear? Yes, please let. Hello, hello. Am I audible? In the chat or not? Okay, so everything is fine, I guess. So we can get started. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay, we'll start then. So, yeah, good evening, everyone. I am Saksham Thakur, and I'm truly excited to welcome you to the SDG Zenith Zero, which is Sustainable Development Goals. And our topic is reaching the peak of global climatic action, which comes under SDG part number 13. Tonight, we'll delve into one of the most pressing challenges of our time, climatic action. a crucial part of UN SDG 13. This isn't just an abstract issue, it's one that impacts all of us, and the time is to act now. So, what is this event is about? It's this event is more than a discussion that we have to do about the topic that we have chosen. It's call it's a call to action. It's a moment for us to reflect on progress we have made and to explore tangible steps we can take to drive the change. Together, we'll uncover ways to build a sustainable future for our planet and the generations to come. So, what's going to be the agenda? So, our agenda preview is we'll begin by understanding the current state of the climatic crisis and why the achieving the net emission zero is so crucial for us. Then we'll explore real world success, stories, and innovations, leading the way. Finally, we'll dive into some practical social things that action that you can take to make a difference in the society. So, are you all guys ready? Shall we get started? Okay, our first topic, which is our segment number one. We'll go into the event by the segment wise. So this is our segment number one, the current state of climatic crisis, which is rising temperature and their impact. So global temperatures have already risen by 1.1% degree Celsius since pre-industrial times, bringing catastrophic consequences like wildfires, floods, and biodiversity loss. Now, signs of a warming planet. The evidence is clear: melting glaciers, rising seas, and extreme weather events. These aren't just statistics, they represent real disruptive lives and communities. So, moving further, what's the need for urgency that we have? So, the 1.5 degrees Celsius target. So, what is it? Limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius is critical. Beyond this, the risk intensify. More extreme weather, ecosystem loss, and livelihood disrupted. Every fraction of a degree matters. This is about survival. The future is in our hands. So we do have to act now to make changes for the future generations and for ourselves as well. So if we move further, we have the current trajectory. So, what is current trajectory? Without urgent action, global temperature could rise by 2.5 degrees Celsius or more by 2100. This means more frequent and intense natural disaster, devastating economics, and disrupting societies worldwide. So, moving further, we have risk of inaction. So, what is it? Irreversible damage to ecosystems and human societies is at stake that we all know. So, tipping points like ice sheet collapses could lead to drastic sea level rise. Moving further, we have economic advantages. So, after this, what could be the economic advantages? Everyone will be thinking about that, right? So, transitioning to a green economy isn't just sustainable, it's smart. It simulates growth, creates job, and cuts long-term costs from climatic impact. A greener future always benefits everyone. So moving further, we have challenges and opportunities. Obstacle and reasons for hope. So we have three things in there. First is challenges. What could be challenges that we are facing? Second, opportunities. After that, we could come to the opportunities, but what are the opportunities that we have? And after that, we always need a path forward for the future terms. So moving further, in the challenges, we have outdated infrastructure, which is dependence on fossil fuels in the key sector that we have. In the second thing, we have unequal access. And what is it? Developing countries face resources limitations. In the each world, we know that we are facing limitations of the resources due to certain things that we have. For example, global warming, climatic action that we have. Now, resistance to change, which is a very crucial thing that we have, because political and economic barriers to change, because they do not change at some extent, they need some further clarification to change. In the second thing, we have opportunities. So, what could be the opportunities? First, advances in technology, rapid growth in renewable energy. Second, global collaboration, agreements like Paris Accord. Now, the third one is rising awareness. Public demands for sustainability is increasing. Now, after all this, we have path forward. what could be the things that which will include to get more self forward. First is innovation. Embrace and invest in cutting edge renewable technologies. Second one is policy reform. Intact policies to support sustainability and phase out fossil fuels. The next thing is global cooperation. Strengthen international agreements and partnerships for collective actions. Now, by moving forward, we have why does it matter? Like, why are we needing it? Why does it matter to ourselves? So, climatic injustice. What is it? The least responsible for climatic change, like low income communities, are hit the hardest, as we all know. Displacement, food insecurity, and health crisis are worsening, deepening inequality. Tackling climate change is more than an environmental issue, it's a matter of fairness and justice. So these are all about this segment one that we have. In this, we basically covered like what's the current state of climatic crisis that we all know. Like it has already risen by 1.1 degrees Celsius, and if we are not going to act on it, it could be increased by from 1.1 to 2.5 degrees Celsius by 2100, which could be very harmful for us. In the next segment, we understood what's the need for urgency for this. So, what were the urgencies? The target 1.5 degrees Celsius target that we understood. So, we have to limit the global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius is like a basically critical thing. And beyond this, the risk intensify that I've already told you. Now, basically, the future is obviously in our hands, and we do have to act now. After that, we understood about the what's the current trajectory we have. So, current trajectory, this means more frequent and intense natural disasters devastating, which I've already told you, which are very crucial things that we have. What are the risk of inactions? It's basically just the damage to the ecosystem and human societies is at stake. So these are the things which is very risky, and like we do have to act on it. Next was what are the economic advantages and what are the challenges and opportunities and path forward that we had. In the challenges, of course, we covered outdated infrastructure, unequal access, and the resistance to change. In the opportunities, we have advances in technology, global collaboration, rising awareness. In the path forward, we have innovation, policy reform, and global cooperation. And after this, we are studying about the why does it matter. So we already told you like in the climatic injustice, those least responsible for climate change, like low income communities, are hit the hardest, as we all know, because they don't have the proper things or technology to move forward. So, I hope you all guys are like enjoying the session. Uh, can I get the comments? Like, if everything is going fine, can we move further with the segment number two that we have? Okay, cool. So, our segment number two, that is success stories and innovation. The first thing is renewable energy revolution. So, what are the energy revolution, which is like important for us? So, in India progress under SDG now 13, India has made significant strides in renewable energy with initiative like Kusum Yojana and the International Solar Alliance. What's the impact? Like, why do we need it? Greater access to the cleaner energy, improved farmer and livelihoods, and global leadership in renewable energy. Moving forward, we have sustainable urban development, cities that are leading the way. So, innovative solution in Indian cities, as we all know, we have seen like cities like Surat and Delhi are leading the way with climatic consciousness innovation. Surat Zero Waste Initiative and advanced food management are boosting urban resilience. As we all know, in the Delhi metro expansion has drastically reduced emissions. In as we all know, Delhi is vastly about the metros, and it has covered all the areas of Delhi in the Noida, in the Gurgaon, and in the further parts as well, in the Delhi NCR basically. So this thing proving that urban planning can align with the climatic goals. So moving forward, we have youth-led advocacy. What is it? Youth-led climatic action in India. India youths are leading the charge in climatic action. Movement like Fridays for Future India and initiatives like Green India Mission show the power of grassroots effort for systematic change. From beach cleanups to policy advocacy, young leaders are making a real impact. So, after all this, what could be the key takeaways? So, the key takeaway is India efforts highlight how innovation, collaboration, and determination can make a real difference. Through as in the PPT, it's mentioned progress in renewable energy, sustainable cities, and youth advocacy highlight the power of unified efforts for real climatic action. So, in this segment, we understood about as I'll like scroll the screen. First one was the renewable energy revolution. Like, what is it? What are the initiative that was taken? The first one is Kusum Yojana and the International Solar Alliance, and we also talked about what are the impacts. The impact is greater access to the clean energy, improved farmer livelihoods, and global leadership in renewable energy. After this, we studied about sustainable urban development, innovative solution in Indian cities. We talked about Surat Zero Waste Initiative and advanced flood management that we have. We also talked about the Delhi Metro expansion has drastically reduced the emission, proving the urban planning can align with climatic goals. After this, we talked about youth-led advocacy, like how youth are impacting these things. So movement like Fridays for Future India and initiatives like Green India Mission show the power of grassroots effort for systematic change. After that, we talked about what are the key takeaway from all of this. So I hope you guys are like engaging with the event. Can I get a chat? Like if everything is going well for now? Okay, cool. We'll move forward. So, our next thing is practical steps for collective action, which is individual action for sustainable future. So, we do have to educate yourself and advocate. So, what is it? SDG 13 focuses on cutting greenhouse gas emission to combat climate change and safeguard for our planet for our future generations. So, what's the urgency? Like, what are the urgency that we have? That is, the world is warming, and it's crucial to take immediate action to reduce the emission and the halt the devastating impacts of the climatic change. So, the next thing is advocating for change. So, we all have a role to play, raise awareness in communities, schools, workplaces, and on social media. Educate others on the importance of sustainability and the need for change. Support renewable energy policies, encourage the adoption for cleaner energy, and stand with the climatic conscious leaders who advocate for climatic justice. Small action can lead into a very big things, and together we can help shift the course towards a sustainable, resilient future. After this, we have adopt sustainable practices. Plan meals, reuse leftovers, and compost to cut down on our landfill emissions. Support eco-friendly businesses that we have with strong ESG practices, shop local and organic to carbon footprints. Carpool, use public transport, and choose sustainable fashion for the future generation, which will be very useful for them. Collective action, no matter how small, led a lasting environmental change. Even a small change can bring a very like it can change everything. Even as if it take a small step, the 4% or 2-3% will look at us. They're also gonna change ourselves. They'll change. So these things, this is chain reaction. Okay, so if you like change, if one person changes, the other one, so it goes. So like even no matter how small, it can be a very effective thing. So minimize waste, which I already talked. Plan meals, reuse leftovers, support eco-friendly businesses with strong ESG practices, shop local and organic to reduce carbon footprints. So, moving on. Our next thing is join local and global efforts. What is it? Like take action on all scales. We do have to take action. It doesn't mean if it's a big, if it's small. We do have to take actions. So, Local action. Plant trees to restore habitats and absorb carbon. Join cleanups, recycling programs, and or urban gardening efforts. Support sustainable local businesses and promote eco-friendly practices in your community. Global support. What is it? Join climatic movement like Fridays for Future, which I already talked about, or support organization pushing for change. You can also use platforms like GoFundMe or Kickstarter to fund climate tech or clean energy projects. So after this, what are the key takeaways? Like what could we count? As is already written, every action counts. Ripple effect. Small actions like reducing energy use or supporting policy changes can spark large transformation when done collectively. Community involvement. Engaging others with amplify efforts, driving widespread change, and making a lasting impact. So, if we go to the segment number three, what were the things that we understood? We have global awareness as well, which is leveraging digital platform to promote international policy changes for climate and goals. What are the impacts that we have? Local action drive national, which I already talked to you, like through alignment and global initiative, which can change the whole thing. For the sustainable future, each action today bring closer to a greener and more sustainable world. If we work together, if we collab together, if we like go through well with each and everyone, like everything will be so smooth and it will be a very drastic change for the future. As already written, today we can create a resilient future that preserves resources, reduces pollution, and promotes equity. So, in this section, what did we learn? We learn about how can individual affect the sustainable futures that we have. We learn in the SDG 13, which is focusing on cutting greenhouse gas emission to combat climate change and safeguard, right, for our planet, for our future generations. So after, what was the urgency that we had? So we thought the world is warming, it's in a very crucial condition, and we need to take immediate action to prevent them and reduce emissions and halt the devastating impact of climatic change. After that, we learned about advocating for change. Like we do all have a role to play in raising awareness in communities, in school, in social medias, in workplaces, educate others on the importance of sustainability and the need for change. So this is the in this one. In the next one, we had adopt sustainable practices. We like every sustainable actions we should adopt if it's possible or not. Just try to adopt them. Like you can plan meals, reuse leftovers, support eco-friendly with the ESG participate practices, shop local and organic to reduce carbon, which I already talked about. So next one, it's the you can minimize the waste, which I already said. So you can also join the local or global efforts according to your convenience. So in the local action, we have joint cleanups, recycling programs, or urban gardening efforts that we have. You can support sustainable local businesses and promote eco-friendly practices as well. After that, we have global support, which I already said. Like join, you can join the climatic movements like Fridays for Future, which I already said above in the segment number two, and support the organization. You can also use platform GoFundMe or Kickstarter to the climatic tech things that we have. After this, we talk about what are the key takeaways like ripple effect, community involvement, global awareness, what are the impacts, and we have the sustainable future as well. So in this event, we talked like the things were in three sections that we had. In the There were three sections. This is section number three. So in this section number one, we learned about the climatic crisis and the road to net zero. uh, yes, it's you are written correct. Awareness is about it's of course it's really about important. If you don't aware about the things which is going on, it will be very like difficult for you to like catch up things with. In the next segment, we talked about renewable energy resources in the success stories and the innovations that we had. In the third one, we also talked about practical steps for collective actions. So our next thing is, are you if you have any query, anything, you can post in the group and post in the chat, and I'll answer them if you have any. So also tell us how was the event, how did you like it, how was it so far? Okay, chat. chat. If you have any guys, you have any query, do ask. I'll try to answer them. Also, let me know how was the session. If anything is required to change or anything that needs to be work on. Also, let me know if the event was informative or not. So I think everyone understood the topic that we had. Okay, for the time being, I'll let you know what are the important things that you need to know. Like first thing is like temperatures has like risen by 1.1 degree Celsius, causing wildfires, floods, and biodiversity loss, which we already know. Like after that, what are the evidence? Like it's also important to have the evidence. It's melting glacier, driving sea level rise, and extreme weather events like hurricanes and stuff. Moving on, what's the 1.5 degrees Celsius target? Like these are the important things like I'm discussing right now. So we can work on that. So limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius is crucial to avoid most severe impacts on the climatic change. Even a like small increased beyond this threshold can lead to a more extreme weather events like this cyclone or anything. It could be anything, not related to climate. It could be of anything like floods and stuff. So like we should be very careful about these things that we have. Next, we learned about the current trajectory. So we should be like, if you don't take a very drastic action, it could rise by 2.5 degrees Celsius, which is like a big thing that we are dealing with. As I already mentioned, that will result in more frequent and intense natural disasters with devastating effects on global economies. So moving on, we also the what are the risk of inactions if we don't take any actions? What are the risks involved in it? Irreversible damage to ecosystems and human societies that we have, potential tipping points. Like these are the important things that you need to know. And also you also need to know the what are the economic advantages that I've already mentioned to you. And if you don't understood anything, like I have already mentioned about these things in the video, you can scroll back and you can check it. Also, okay, I'll explain. There's no worries about that. So for the transitioning to a green economy isn't just sustainable, it's smart, as we already know. It stimulates growth, create jobs, and cuts long-term costs from climate impacts, a greener future for everyone. After this, we learned about what are the challenges that we are facing with, and what could be opportunities that we have, and what are the possible things that what are the path forward that we can look into. So in this, I mentioned that outdated infrastructure that we have in the challenges, unequal access, resistance to change, advances in technology, global collaboration, raising awareness in the opportunities part. In the path forward, we have innovation, policy reform, and global cooperation. So these are things that you need to know. Why does it matter? I already told you. Renewable energy resources, like we have the different type of programs like Kusum Yojana and the International Solar Alliance, and what are the impacts? It impacts in greater clean energy access, improve farmer livelihoods. We have these solutions are areas which impact sustainable futures that we have. We can adopt sustainable practices. So all these things we have covered. I will let you know. So I have seen the chat. Like there's no query for now. So okay, guys, I'll ask you the questions now. You can answer if you have any. So what could be the questions? Okay, why is the target so important? Like I repeat that I mentioned like about this 2 or 3 times. Okay, Arjun is asking how about the importance of climatic actions, like offering incentives like benefit for sustainable attitudes and encourage action. So like uh, this is how we can overcome the resistance to change. So I hope you understood the Arjun is asking how okay. So individuals like can reduce their carbon footprint by less and in the today's way of thinking, driving by that is the like most I you like public. Okay, next we have I'll tell you why. In fighting climatic change, by reducing with the impacts that they have, sustainable practices in green business help to move towards a sustainable future. Many companies are already making the shift to renewable energy and creating eco-friendly products. So like this is the basic thing that they have to do to for the climatic change as an action. I hope you understood the answer, Amal. And, tell me voices. I'll answer your questions once if you didn't get my answer. So I'll start. I think I completed the Arjav part. I'll go to the Yukta ones. Okay, Yukta asked, how can individual reduce their carbon footprint? Okay, So as I like already told you, for the carbon footprint, by adopting like habits, uh, like adopting simple habits like using less energy, using or you can use bikes, things that we need to know. Okay, uh, already available and investing in green technologies. Business help move towards to the shift towards friendly products. I think I hope you can let me know. It's not okay. If it's okay, sorry. It's not, but question action. Okay, the key drivers of climatic action that I've mentioned in the PPT, organizing climate that we are facing. So yeah, I mean, a significant role in the climatic action, and we need to act this thing. Uh, like by the limiting the global warming, rising sea levels, and the collapse of the risk to manage damage that we can have also in this section. Like why this is important? Like why artificial Celsius target? You can go through with this, and you can go through to the video once. If the when the video ends, you can go through again. You can check what I mentioned, what I explained. I explained this thing like 2 times because this is very important. Well, like audio is my audio working, guys? Can you please let an issue, I guess? We'll move forward. Challenge. What are the steps change that big through Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook and Twitter. I've already mentioned the link that we have. You can go through and you can follow this chapter, and you can get the further updates as well as we have all of the events that are coming up. So stay tuned, guys. Have a good night and stay safe. Thank you.